Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. And this is where I usually like to take a look at some older comics, talk about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. But this time I'm doing the second part of a comic haul. This past weekend, I went to the Wicked West Comic Expo in Loveland, Colorado, and got some comics. And the last time I covered the first part of that haul, I wanted to show you this in the second part. Now, this time it's all one title. And this is Monsters Unleashed. This is great because if you've listened to me for any length of time, you know I love the giant monster comics. You know, like the Marvel Atlas monster stories from the late 50s and early 60s, and then reprinted in various titles in the 70s, like Where Monsters Dwell, Monsters Unleashed, and Creatures on the Loose, and the like. And how those old monster stories have come back. Significant part of them have been kind of rolled into Marvel canon. In fact, one of them, you can see my version right here of Fin Fang Foom, who had a couple of stories way back when in the era of the monster stories, and then he popped back up as, I think it was an Iron Man villain, and has been a recurring character in the mainstream Marvel universe, as have some of the other monsters have popped back up, plus new ones. Well, there was a limited 12-issue limited series, and from what I understand, it was also a universe-wide event, but I haven't seen those. I don't know. This is from 2017-2018. There is a 12-issue limited series of Monsters Unleashed, which is considerably different from the old Monsters Unleashed, except for the fact that it has giant monsters in it. I just got this series, and great deal. It was a buck an issue. And but it is one continuous storyline running through the thing, even though I guess there's some subplots and sub stories going on. But the main, I haven't read this, but I've just looked through, I think, most of the issues. It has the art, it has some nice artwork, but it is somewhat stylized to be a little bit more cartoonish, and it does have humor in it, but without being an outright humor comic. Of course, this is monsters and has giant robots in it as well. And the initial creative team for the first several issues was writer Cullen Bunn, who I know nothing about, never heard of before, and the artist was David Baldion, who also I don't know. These are contemporary creators, and I have not been able to, from both time and expense, have not been able to keep up with the more recent comics in the last 20 years or so, and just get something occasionally. And as I said, this is from, starts in 2017 and runs into early 2018. And you can see here on the cover, you get all the giant monsters here. But the central character is this kid right here. He is Kid Kaiju. And I guess his I don't know his last name. His first name is Kai. I gather he is a kid who is half Asian, half Caucasian. That's what I gathered just from looking through it. Maybe that blonde lady wasn't his mother. I can be mistaken, since I've not read it yet. I was just assuming that she was his mother. And he is an Inhuman. Remember the Inhumans from the Fantastic Four? And his inhuman power is the ability to create kaiju. All he has to do is draw them, and he can make them real. Well, for also what I gather in this storyline, monsters have started reappearing. I guess there's something from space has dropped a bunch of monsters around Earth, and they're called Leviathans. And part of this in here that I saw looks very Lovecraftian. Something that looks like it could have been inspired by Cthulhu, because it looks like it might have had the Cthulhu mythos in there. And we'll take a look here. The first issue, just kind of showing and introducing the characters. One thing it's got here, which is kind of convenient and yet kind of annoying, because it's very much in the tradition of some of the manga is, because every time a creature or character is introduced, they have this big caption right next to it, giving the name. And here's issue 2. They may have had variant covers as well. I don't know. I hate variant covers, because it's a trick trying to fool you. And here you find out this character here. It's Elsa Bloodstone. She is the daughter of Ulysses Bloodstone. Is a monster hunter. And some months ago, I did an episode on Ulysses Bloodstone. And here we see all these monsters, and then we see a major villain involved here is the Mole Man, who was first introduced in Fantastic Four #1, and he was, of course, he was the villain, and he controlled all these monsters that then had attacked New York. Over the years, he's kind of gotten away from a lot of the monstery stuff as the Moloids or the Mole Men. He's kind of a ruler of, but they're in here too. From what I looked at it. Oops, I knocked over my cute little monster there. And then, another one, still issue 3. More monster smashing. Giant monsters and small giant robots. Mecha. And here, issue 4. And here comes some other more traditional supervillains involved here. That's I know the Leader and MODOK 2.0. What's this guy's name? The Mad Thinker? I can't remember, and I don't know that fella. And yeah, New York always seems to be at the center of things. So here's the giant monsters. And it looks like they're having a party on the Statue of Liberty. And they're not as big as they usually appear. And here we have Fin Fang Foom. And some more stuff with the Inhumans. Our friend Fin Fang Foom makes an appearance. Did I miss one? That's 6. That's 5. No, I didn't. More Monsters Unleashed. Number 7. And of course, in the process, our part of our creative team has changed. At least the artist has. And this is the kid using his powers, and it's called. And this is part 1 of another storyline called what was it? Learning Curve? No, that's not yet. This is Legacy Poison, part 1. There's Poison and Fin Fang Foom again, but look, he looks like he's really modified there. That's in number 8. Then number 9. Here we go. This is the storyline, Learning Curve, and he's riding giant bees and wasps, and our entire creative team has changed. This is part 1. Issue 10, more Learning Curve, Kid Kaiju versus Terror from the Deep. You'd think it'd have the Submariner in that one. And then Monsters. And here they are in space. Number 11, more called Learning Curve. And then the last part of the whole series and the storyline called Learning Curve. And this has Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl in it. I love Devil Dinosaur. I don't know anything about the newer stuff with Moon Girl. But I really love the Kirby Devil Dinosaur stuff. So, that is the end of this part of the comic book haul from the Wicked West Comic Expo in Lakewood, Colorado, from mid-April 2023. And thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll probably do a deeper dive in at least one of the issues here of this sometime in the future. So, tell me what you think of Monsters Unleashed. Did you read it when it was first out? Had you even heard of it? I hadn't heard anything of it that I know of. And it looks potentially promising. We'll see. And remember kids, comics are art.